Julian, you have been working on Any9 Hubs for a while. Give us an update. Where does the project stand today?
The foundation of anynines Hub is Klutch, the open source project. We've been, we've been working with a couple of organizations over the past years to verify the core assumptions of Klutch and to see how data service orchestration is addressed these days. And we've confirmed that Klutch fills an important gap in initial encounters with organizations. For example, we've seen that Crossplane as means to reconcile non-Kubernetes resources from Kubernetes has gotten a lot of traction. Some clients actually doubted that Klutch would be necessary and tried to build a client and a centralized control plane for data service orchestration, both with Crossplane alone. And interestingly, that didn't work well, especially in cases where there are a lot of data service instances to be managed, a lot of service bindings to be managed, a lot of databases, in other words, and where there are a lot of tenants and a lot of Kubernetes clusters. And one problem in particular was that if you have a marketplace that comprises a lot of data services, like different databases, for example, and you want to expose them across a wide range of application clusters, where application developers get that self-service that you would know if you were a Cloud Foundry user, like create a service instance, create a service binding, where you create a database and bind an app to that database, just by declaring your intent. So that is what Klutch is doing as well. And in Crossplane, it turns out that building such a client and then installing that client that exposes such a marketplace to application developers, providing that self-service we want, is quite resource consuming. So it is very important that the custom resource definitions that you introduce to represent those different databases and database instances consequently, that this is done in a very resource efficient manner. So how to do that? In Klutch, we have abstractions. In Klutch, the Klutch connector is lightweight and it can be applied to hundreds of Kubernetes clusters without causing significant overhead. So that's a major learning that it has proven that our value hypothesis actually works out, and that there's enough differentiation from Crossplane, which we use, for example, on the control plane to write integrations, is a sound differentiation. Now, on the control plane side, we've also gathered on the Klutch, on the level of Klutch, interesting insights. For one, Crossplane is a sound technology to write backend integrations. However, it shouldn't be the only one. So in Klutch, we have written our own native operators to integrate automation backends where Crossplane just gets in the way. It is a very particular thing, and the latest major upgrade also forces you to upgrade all your integrations, which is kind of a dependency that, especially if you're looking at a large set of integrations, can be problematic. So having something more native, especially with vibe coding being a thing now, where you can write Go code easier than before, the utility of such an integration technology is changing. It's still there. And another technology showing up on the radar is Crow, the Kubernetes resource orchestrator. So writing integrations with Crow and Klutch is also interesting.